Let it all hang out. All right, I figured we'd start off on a note here, a little bit of singing because it's Friday. But the bottom line is we're here to talk about relationships tonight. And do you need more clarity in your intimate relationship? Do you need more clarity in your intimate relationship? Relationships are being impacted right now, whether we like it or whether we don't. And Jenna's on here. I had a conversation about this, and the question was, why aren't you doing more on relationships? Because these are the questions that people are bringing up. And there's a lot of things in the news. There's a lot of things demanding your attention, but some folks might be home wrestling with their relationship and what to do. It's not what you want it to be. Maybe things have changed. If you're just joining, I did a podcast on this in my Flashpoint podcast talking about relationships. It was content from a previous video. We're going to discuss this tonight. Hey, Tana. So let's talk about this. Relationship is the most sacred area of our lives. And it's an area that's continuing. It's a continual growth place. It's a continual place to grow. And I think anyone clicking on here can relate. And we've been in different places in relationships. We've felt the pain and the anguish. We felt the emotions of feeling like it's an anchor and it's dragging us down. And I saw that, Tana. Tana, by the way, Tana's one of our new emergency life coaches. We're going to have her up there shortly. And she just posted something on relationships. I haven't had a chance to read it, Tana, but you're free to share the link here in this in the comment section. And I really want to open this up tonight. I don't want this just to be a continual monologue with me talking. Of course, I'm the only one talking, but I can take guests on this platform, and I can take your comments. I can take your feedback. I can take your questions right here in the comment section. I'm going to do some things to provoke, to stimulate some thoughts. But one of the things I wrote down as I was preparing for this is that your relationship is a place you go to give and to grow. It's a place we go to give and to grow. It's a place we go to give and to grow. And we can lose sight of that because the other side of that is that we come preloaded with expectations. If you've been in a relationship, you got into that relationship because you had expectations of what you wanted. And then in the relationship, you might have realized, oh my goodness, I have this whole other set of expectations that this particular person's not meeting, and I don't like that. And I know it doesn't feel good. But we need to come back and remember that a relationship, it's actually raining and pouring right now, but cleanse. Relationship is a place we come to give and we come to grow. Who am I? Well, I've spent lots of time in researching this, at least hundreds of hours. I don't even know. I can't count. And then the actual experience of going through a lot of painful relationships. Some great moments, but pain in that, and think of it this way: a relationship can be your greatest emotions of exaltation, your greatest feelings of exaltation, joy, bliss, and it can also be the most anguish. You could feel the most pain. And think of it. I mean, think of an emotion when you felt like you were in that down place. And I think this is what causes, as we get older, it causes us to step back away because there's this spectrum, if you will, of a relationship and the range of emotions we feel when we enter into a relationship. And we know that there's this bliss, this joy, this never felt like this before type of thing. But then there's also the juxtaposition of I've never felt so down and so oh gosh, I can't even grab the words, which is probably a good thing because I want to focus on the good. But we've all been there, right? I mean, I'll say we've all, but I believe most of us have been there. Hey, Carrie, and you may be single too. You may be listening to this, and you might be single, and you're thinking about your relationships. And by the way, I want you to break through either way. I want you to break through your own barriers. If you're in a relationship, you might need a breakthrough. You might need clarity, and you're not sure what to do. And let me just point to this. Avoid making a decision in isolation. What do I mean? A lot of times when we're faced with heavy emotions and our relationship isn't right, we can isolate. We can, because maybe we're not communicating with our partner, and we can kind of carve out this world where we're coping. We're coping with the emotions. We're coping with the situation. And there can be the passive aggressive, there can be, or even just not even passive aggressive, but there can be hot and cold moments, right? There's hot and cold where we might just be ignoring people and doing different things, and ignoring our partner, or dropping weird hints and all this stuff that goes on in a relationship. Let's open it up for some conversation. Hey, Tara, thanks for joining. I know you commented on the other video that you're in a great relationship. So we always want to hear from people who are setting a good example in their respective relationships. And we want to hear from you. I want to hear from you tonight. Where are you? Maybe you want to drop an emoji of where you are in your relationship. And let's see. Jenna put a comment in here. I'm single, but my relationships with my friend are going well. Okay. And, think about that. When you got good relationship with friends, we feel better, don't we? Don't we feel better when that area is taken care of? It's like that foundation, so that we can go out into the world, and when the world comes at us and we know we have that home base, it's reassuring. But if you go out into the world and you don't have that home base, and that home base is not solid, it's not built on solid ground, you can get it from both sides. You're not feeling certainty in the world, and you're not feeling certainty when you go home. And when I talk about relationships, I think the goal, I believe, is love and passion. It's both. It's being able to. I believe that. My belief is that if you fell in love with somebody and you really felt that deep connection, that love is always there. Although you have your highs and lows, because you might be like, get out of here. I need to get out of your presence. I need to disappear. I mean, in any relationship, I can tell you, even a relationship with my dog, right? My relationship with my dog, she's sitting over here. Sometimes I just got to get away. So just like an intimate relationship, sometimes you just got to get away. You got to go to your respective corners. It's common. And I think it's wrong to think that there's something wrong with that. I think that that's acceptable, to be able to go to your respective corners and just refresh, because you're bringing your emotion, you're bringing your stuff, and they're bringing their stuff. And, you walk in the room at the same time and you're like, something, you just freak out sometimes, right? Or you get upset, or whatever, you just need that break. You need to recalibrate. But if there's love, so I believe there's love is always there. I believe the passion, that's something we need to cultivate, because we can get into a routine and we can start to coast. And when we're coasting, it's not passionate. Like, passion comes from when we do spontaneous things together. When somebody spontaneously, your partner spontaneously touches you in a way you didn't expect, or gives you a gift, or says something unexpected that really, validates and reassures you. And let's talk about the issue of compatibility. I mean, compatibility is a factor. We can love somebody and not be really compatible with them. Isn't that true? I mean, have you ever been in a relationship where you just really, you loved somebody, but you just knew the compatibility wasn't there? And you knew over time, because we got to grow together in relationships. It's so important that we grow together. And it's important that, and this is really important too, it's important that you don't have to turn yourself into a pretzel for that relationship. And I know people have been there. I know you've been there. I know you've twisted and turned yourself, and you were like, wait, who am I? You might have lost your identity, and that's a whole nother conversation. But I'm open to talk about anything tonight. So you whatever you bring, I'll bring it. Like, this is a really important area. We got things going on, things happening in the world, and people are stirred up. Thanks, Annie. Yeah, people need personal space. People need personal. We need our personal space, because it's like a calibration. It's like we get we take care of us. Like Jim Rohn said, I'll take care of me for you. I'll take care of me for you, right? Some people, you heard, I'll take care of you if you take care of me. Well, that's like transaction, isn't it? I mean, okay, well, I'll do this if you do that. Like, that's a transaction. Transformation comes when, like, I'm going to take care of me so I can give and pour into you. I'm not keeping score here. I'm not counting. I'm not counting the times you did what you did. I'm not counting it. I'm coming to give and pour. I'm coming to pour in. Now, granted, in a healthy relationship, in a healthy context, I'm talking. Things get unhealthy, that's a whole nother dynamic. But I've seen, like, I think if one person, and there's compatibility there, and there's love, and there's passion, and one person is capable of love, and one person's capable of love, that it can teach the other person what love is. And I've seen that happen in a relationship where the woman loved through the other person's faults, selfishness. But then there was another side when the person said, I learned how to love by watching you love me. Think about that. I got chills. That's powerful. That is powerful. I learned how to love by watching how you loved me when I didn't deserve it. Because there's moments when we don't deserve it. There's moments when we bring our worst stuff that comes out. And it could have nothing to do with that person. So there's moments we bring our worst stuff and someone's able to love us through that. That's transformational. Because most people don't do that. They run, we could come up with a list of what things do, what people do. And so, there's lots of directions we can go here tonight. I want your feedback. Not should you have to, what is something, or do something nice. Yeah, somebody could do something nice that is unexpected. But let's go back to the expectations, right? People come preloaded with expectations. And then every expectation that's not met, it's like you got a balance beam or balance scale. It's like every expectation that's not met, boom, right? It tips the scale and you're pissed off. Every expectation that's met, sunshine and rainbows. I mean, it's not to say we can eliminate that completely because we're human, but if we can get away from that and start to get above that, to transcend that, and continually bring our best self to the relationship, we can love through it, and we can teach other people, the other person, maybe how to love. So let's grab some. Are you single too? Who's that message directed to, Jenna? Tara, what did you feel like? You felt like what in the relationship? I'm grabbing this out of context. So I want to make sure I give all the listeners the context here of what we're talking about. And by the way, throw out a question. I've had some conversations around relationships. What conversations have you had recently around relationships? Has someone reached out to you? Is someone going through a silent battle? Is someone not sure what they should do? Should they walk away? Should they stay? Should I stay or should I go now? Is it possible to resurrect a relationship? Has anybody resurrected a relationship that might listen to this? This is great conversation because people out there are going through things in a relationship. People are home more, right? People are spending more time at home together. And that's preloaded with a lot of things. Are they growing together? They might get on their nerve. They might get on each other's nerves. There may be some things that come out, but are they deepening the relationship? Or is the relationship breaking down? And it's becoming clear that maybe there's no future there, and what should I do? So let's see. Oh, okay. So so you're saying 3 couples I know are breaking up or on the verge of breaking up. When conflict comes in, it reveals. Would you agree? Have you ever heard the adage that stay with somebody for 4 seasons? The 4 seasons, because we're affected by the weather. And in those 4 seasons, you're going to be able to witness or experience, get to know the person fully, get to know if you're compatible with them. And Tara's saying, my husband surprised me with super sweet email a few days ago. See, that's the kind of thing that really adds context, or adds texture and passion to a relationship, because this is so important. But let's talk about. All right, let me just share this real quick. Oh, okay. So you just realized that a relationship is not worth rekindling. Okay. Yeah. Well, we can go back, right? We can go back to relationships, but more often than not, those relationships that we had in our past are a reflection of maybe where we were, and I think that's important to ask, what that relationship, did you grow from that relationship? Did you grow from that relationship? And Tana's saying existing issues are being spotlighted by the added tension. So it's like, if you're in a situation, this is causing things to heat up, puts more pressure. And how do you respond under pressure? Does it create a diamond, or does it create a bomb and explode? And this is real life. I mean, this happens. So what can we do? What can we do? What can we do during these times? I think number one is awareness. Just like anything else in life, is to be aware of, where are you in your relationship? Where is your relationship? Where is it? Is it dying and you're just in denial? You're holding on? Does some things need to be addressed, like ASAP? Like if your relationship was a building on fire, like it's like red alert, like we need to get the fire trucks there right now. Is it just, maybe it's ice cold, it's just, it's like take it or leave it. That might be the most dangerous area, right? When you're just in the middle, you're just coasting. You're like maybe friends or maybe ships passing in the night. That's not a good place either. Not growing now by my choice. Okay. Well, that's good. I mean, I think when it comes to, if you're single, knowing when to say no, knowing like who you are and what you deserve is paramount to what you attract. And if we don't feel self-worth, if we don't feel worthy, we might allow somebody into our space because we're not confident we can attract the right person. I want you to be ultra confident that you can attract the right person. That if you are unabashedly yourself and you're the best version of yourself, how can you not attract the right person? I've had many people that can't be single. I've heard that before. Can't be single. Got to be in a relationship. Got to have that relationship. I've always been in a relationship. Can't be single. And maybe that's the greatest lesson, is to be single, is to open yourself up and grab the lesson during that season. So we're all in a season right now, and there's things that are changing. Would you agree with that? Things are changing. I think there would be the few that would say things are not changing. Things are status quo. I would say that the larger, and tell me if I'm wrong, like tell me, dude, you're wrong. Like, I don't agree with what you're saying. I believe the majority of the people, there's a shakeup, because nothing stays stagnant. Would you agree? Like, if it stays stagnant, it's dying, right? We can't just think that it's going to stay this way. Things need to grow or they need to go. And we Okay, hopefully I'm hello everyone. I believe I'm live. Am I live? Yes. Okay. I had an interruption. Are you there? Can you see and hear me? Can you see? Can you see me? All right, I'm back. I had a little power surge and the Wi-Fi went out. So just let me know if you can see me and you can hear me. I didn't mean to put that in all caps, but let's see. Can you see me? Can you hear me? Can you see me? Can you hear me? No, it's not you, Carrie. All right, we're back. Okay, everyone. We're talking about relationships tonight. I had a little issue with the Wi-Fi, but let's get real. How about that? Let's get real. Let's get clear. Let's get some clarity for you tonight. This was on my podcast today too, and I'm going to be releasing a 14 key questions to ask in any romantic relationship. You're going to want to get that. I have it created. I just need to translate it over. I'll put that link here so you can get that. It's great if you're single. It's great if you're in a relationship. Anilda, welcome, Anilda. Are you out there? So let's see. When I mentioned the 6 foot distancing, that was the end of the relationship. That's a funny joke. I love that. But on a serious note, all I know about relationships is that they help us evolve. You're echoing my thing too. So my evolution has been very slow. Listen, I really appreciate you sharing that, Anilda, because it's one of the things that I wrote down, and that every relationship is a place to give and grow. And I agree with that. Why should we live under this like pressure? And believe me, I'm all for like marrying somebody and staying with them forever. Like I believe that's possible, and many people have done it. I got some stories I'm going to share. But when we put this pressure on ourselves, it's not fair. Like either that's like a self-fulfilling prophecy. We need to be open, because at least for me, I know the relationships that I've been in have allowed me to grow. They've some of them forced me to grow. Some of them they just allowed me to grow as an individual, because a relationship is going to reveal you're going to learn who you are. It's going to reveal who you are based on the person you attracted, based on how you show up in the relationship, and this is all like for all of us. Relationships are a beautiful gift for all of us if we can, from the expectations of the way it's supposed to be. Then we can open ourselves up to just love, because if it's love, it's always going to end up in the right place, and that doesn't mean the person's with you forever. See, that's the thing, and that's a tough one for people to swallow, because we all want to think that we fall in love and that's it, but love. See, what I've learned, and if we're talking about loss, because it's really loss. Like when a relationship breaks up, there's the physical distancing, if you will. but love continues. And that's when you know it's love, if it continues after the person's gone. But if you're angry, you're like want to hurt people and you don't learn the lesson, then you're in your ego. You're about manipulation, domination, and control, maybe to meet a weaker part of yourself. So you're either going to manipulate and dominate and control to meet that weaker part of yourself, or you're going to grow that weaker part of yourself. And that's the call. That's the call for everyone. But not many people will answer that call because it's humbling. It's putting down your ego. And I'm going to share this with you because I just heard this today and I love it. And I'm going to share it with you. So I just want to grab his message here. The biggest lesson I learned is self-love and self-worth. That how I can expect how can I expect another person to know my worth when I don't see myself as worthy? Beautiful. I'm single now for 5 years, and I have never been stronger working on myself, my self-love, my self-worth to the point where my awareness is heightened enough to intuitively know they're not meant for me. Or let's put it the other way, intuitively in tune to know what's for you and enough to know what I want. Yeah, enough to know what I want and what I don't want. That not let somebody in that shouldn't be in a long-term relationship. Thanks, Jenna. On your advice, I was able to love my ex, but still let him go. And it was the best thing I could do because he was not good for me. That is power. That is transformational. And it's not like you can just flip a switch and do that. It takes work. It takes inner work. It takes knowing your self-worth. It calls for the deepest part of you to love. And when you do that, you're so empowered. You're free. You're free to love. And I believe this, I'm actually, this is a secondhand story, but I think there was this has to do with the Buddha, but there was a man that came to the Buddha and he said, I desire happiness. And he said, well, the Buddha's response was, well, I is based in ego, so you might as well let that go. Desire is based on what you don't have and your fulfillment being in a future moment, so you might as well let that go. And all that's left is happiness. So if you think about that message in a relationship, it's a beautiful reflection of that. It just is. That we can be maybe more present in the relationship. Can we exist in a relationship void of an expectation? Can we stop the obsessive thinking about what should and shouldn't be happening in the relationship? Can we put it on pause? The other thing that I just wanted to share with you, and by the way, if you want to grab the podcast from earlier today, that's up. Let me see if I can grab that link here, or I'll put it in after. But there's a thing called the 99-1 scale, which let me grab some of your shares here. They're long, but let me see. I just want to put something up here. Okay, so the 99-1 scale. You know what the 99-1 scale is? The 99-1 scale in a relationship. It's something that I created, and it says this, that if you're in a relationship and the other person is 99% in the wrong, they messed up, they lied, I don't care, they did something, right, that was just bad, 99% wrong, and you're like, boop, I'm 1% wrong. I did this little thing. I only did this little thing. You did all that. And I did this. I just did this little thing. But look at all the stuff that you did. Right? Have you been there? Here's the power. You go to the person, you bring your 1%. But you remove the that means is my Wi-Fi is oh, there we go. Hey everyone. I think I got a little bit of, I got a connection here. I just want to go through the 99-1 scale, and then we're going to bring this to a close, and I'll give you some opportunities to stay connected if you want, and to work on your relationship, even if you're single. If you're single, work on it now. You know, look at the things that you want to see in your relationship. So thank you, everyone. Are you still here? Let's see. We got about 7 people on here. Okay. 99-1 scale. The 99-1 scale is that the other person's 99% wrong and you feel they're 90. Come to them. I did that. And the reason why I'm being dramatic about that is because if you go into a relationship